Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the very brief history and geography of Ahmadi Governorate in Kuwait. Now, Kuwait is a very small country, but this is actually a very large chunk of Kuwait's land, as it's not denoted on here, but it's pretty much like this big area of land here in southern Kuwait. So it does have this beautiful coastline here on the Persian Gulf, or as many people say in this area, the Arabian Gulf. It's not the time to get into the debate over what you call it, just that's what it's called. There are a couple of little beachy areas along here, but most of the coastline is set aside for shipment, for ports and things. And that is because Ahmadi Governorate is the heart of Kuwait's oil country. You can see some little oil rigs here and there. And that is because there's lots and lots of oil here, because this is all pretty much just sand. It's just sand, very, very tiny oases here and there. From what I can tell, most of the oases are actually like man-made oases, but it's just sand. The very brief history is that this area was just sand until oil was discovered in 1946, and the city of Al Ahmadi was established to be an oil city. The rest has just kind of sprung up after the oil wealth really boomed in Kuwait. A brief little historical note in that in 1991, Iraq very famously invaded Kuwait during the Gulf War, and as they were losing and retreated, they burned many of the oil wells. So in Ahmadi, there were about 700 oil wells that were left on fire. It took about 9 months to extinguish. But the area has bounced back from that conflict, and it's now a very beautiful, modern place to live. And that's the history of the area. It's all very, very, very new. It's just been sand for as long as the desert here on the Arabian Peninsula has existed, which is a very, very long time. So, that's it for history and geography of the area. I'm obviously not going to end it here, so let's grab the tablet and look at this area on Google Earth, and let's explore. Let's make this video nice and interesting. So zoom this in to you. There you go. So here you can see a nice outline of just how big this area is compared to the rest of Kuwait. It's pretty much just this chunk, right? And if you're wondering, where exactly are we in the world? We are right here. So here's the very large Arabian Peninsula. We're right tucked in this corner of Asia. There's the big globe there for us to see where exactly we are. So first, I think we should explore. Let's start up in the city of Al Ahmadi, which is, I believe it's like right here. Yeah, this is Ahmadi, where it all began. You can see all of this here is oil stuff. This is where the magic happens in Kuwait. This is where pretty much the majority of its oil wealth is from this governorate. The area around Kuwait City, you can see, is up here. It really sprawls out along the coastline, and it goes into Ahmadi Governorate. Mainly kind of, residential spots, but you can see little refineries here and there. It being a very oil-rich country. You can see all of the big ports here along the coast as well. Let's head down here. Why don't we zoom in? There we go. Big ports and things. And look at this. This, I think, is relatively new. Some landscaping here. The earth, again, it's just sand. So many very, very rich Middle Eastern and Gulf countries like to do little projects like this just to make the area more beautiful and unique. And you can see that they're building parks and resorts, lovely areas for people to relax and park their yachts, I assume, and live a luxurious life along the coast here. But yeah, the majority of the coast are big docks and shipping areas. But yeah, there's another little planned town of El Saba, and you can see a lot of these areas are planned out. You can see that they drew a shape and just filled it in with houses and businesses over here too. There's another one very much planned, right? Looks like there's a big golf course right here too. Of course, it being Kuwait, this area has all of the, there's more oil, all the amenities that anyone could ever need. I want to show you a place that's definitely not planned out, though. That one's definitely planned, isn't it? It's just a big square. And that is the city of, it's Wafra. This is not a planned city, as you can see, because it's all very sprawled out, very scattered. You can see lots of green areas there among all the homes. And yeah, very, very interesting, isn't it? You can see that there are some plans for expansion, and up here you can see, I think it's called New Al Wafra. That's definitely planned, isn't it? Little roundabouts around it. There's a farm here. This area is pretty much built on its farming industry. Let's see what we've got. I haven't looked at these. There's a big goat. I was looking around. There's sweet camels. Oh, fun. And I found like a little park kind of farmy place in the middle of the desert. I'm like, oh, that's neat. So I looked on it and it was like pictures of sheep, slaughtered sheep. So I'm like, okay, let's not show that on my channel. So solar farm technology, a solar farm. Look at all these sweet little kids here, little goats. Very cool old tower there. That's, oh my gosh, how sweet. Beautiful lush greenery growing there. Beautiful mosaic walls. A parrot. You don't belong there. You're not. There's a Burger King. Like the most beautiful Burger King you can imagine. That's Kuwait for you. It's all very, very modern, with little bits of traditional things sprinkled here and there. There's an Iraqi duck. That's the duck. That is the duck. Let's see. Come on. There. So, I'm trying to think of what else I can show you in this area. Here's the sand. This is what most of Kuwait looks like. It's just sand. Here and there you might find little campsites. So I'm going way too far north. I'm going to wind up in like Iraq or Saudi Arabia. Yeah. You can see like areas that man has touched versus areas man has not touched, right? Very interesting. Look at this. What is that? Just a little, the wastewater treatment. Oh, wow. Well, it's got to go somewhere, right? And, yes, pockmarked little oases, I assume. More planned things happening here. That's definitely a factory of some kind. Maybe a desalination, or maybe it's just another kind of oil refinery place. I don't know. Oh, I was looking at this, the West Kuwait Oasis, which is why I say I think a lot of these are man-made, because I was looking at these pictures, and yeah, Mother Nature doesn't plant trees like that, does she? It's definitely a little... Oh, and then there's a bunch of selfies of this guy. He's very proud. Yeah, like definitely plan to make that a beautiful spot once everything's settled and growing, right? What else can we find? You gotta wonder how much of these dark spots are just remnants of scorched earth, or if it's some kind of industrial project, or if it's just some kind of Google Earth error. I don't know. Let's look at Salim. Can we see anything in here? Yeah, mostly these things just point out like, let's look at this. These look like dates. Let's see. Oop. Park Ali Sabah Salim. Got their flags out. Little canal there. Irrigation. There's the waterfront. Lots of selfies. Okay. Yeah, usually when I say like, oh yeah, look at this farming area, that's really cool. Usually when I say, Google Earth doesn't have a lot of pictures to show you, it's because most cool places just have like 3 photos and 2 of them are selfies. But if we move up here a little more, you can see lots of big ports here. What's that? It's very blue. Just a blue, it's part of the oil refinery, I think. So, that is, what's this? There's no pictures. It's too bad. Yeah, a lot of times when I say there's nothing to show you on Google Earth, it's because of this. Let's check out Ahmadi a little more. The public garden. We've got a llama. Beautiful trees, the entryway. There's another duck. Maybe a goose, I'm not sure. Emus. Very interesting. Lots of neat little places to see animals in this area, apparently. Swans. Nice place to enjoy the beautiful weather. Which, Kuwait is a very, very hot place. So, whenever it's beautiful, you gotta go out and savor it. There's some deer. Lots of goats. Beautiful fountain. It looks like a mosque. Looks like a big minaret right there. Very cool. And of course, it being like the oil corner of Kuwait, I saw when I was going through before, I probably won't be able to find them again, lots of schools for foreign workers. I saw some American schools. I saw some Indian schools. Very important because, and people come from all over the world to work this area and their kids got to learn somewhere. So, very neat that there's lots of international places for all the people that work there. So anyway, I guess I'm going to end it there. I'm sorry it's so short, but this area has a very brief history, but a very cool place, huh? I think this is like the most northerly place I can go in Ahmadi. You can see there's a beach here. Very beautiful and relaxing. But yeah, I think I'm going to end it here while we look at this slideshow of the city. Enjoying the water. If you enjoyed this kind of content, please consider subscribing. This is lovely. I do these kinds of videos all over the world, all the time. Ooh, what have they got? Some grand. Something looks like chicken. Some barbecue. Next, we're going to be going to the opposite end of the world for a very opposite type of climate. It looks ready to eat. We will be going to El Salvador. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. I hope my pencil's rolling away. Stay there. I hope that you found this video relaxing and educational, and I hope that you have a very good